Of course, you don't want to not introduce Hiroshima. I mean, most of you already know about Hiroshima, and I mean, all of the speakers' resumes are in the handouts that you have, so you can look for deeper details. But on a very high level, Ashima is the founding president, and she's the chairman of IIM-Americas, and the whole agenda is to have events like these all across the US, increase the networking, and as Suresh was mentioning, increase brand awareness of IIM in North America. So we have, so she literally flies to every chapter event all across the US, which is close to one new event every month. And she has her own personal budget to travel to these events. She gets tickets, as I said. This is in addition to a full-time job as a managing director at PwC. She handles she handles M&A, joint venture, and also a lot of specialized tax accounting at PwC. Plus, she's also on the board of, she's also a lecturer. She also has a teaching position. Plus, she's also on the board of a few institutions. She's also on the board of Shashan College. But more than that, she's also into mentoring. She mentors a lot of startups. She mentors a lot of social entrepreneurs. And I don't know how she manages all of this. So without much ado, I'm going to let her come on the stage.
Thanks a lot, Harish. Thanks everyone for making it here. And I always do this, and let's do this. I'm going to say, I'm Katempo, and you know what you all have to say, right? Right? Everyone remember that? Yeah. All right, 1, 2, 3. And remember, I have an advantage. I have a mic, right? So you have to outshout me, right? So I'm Katempo. Hi. It's kind of not high right now. So let's try again.
Only IIM people know it. That's we don't know.
Okay, all IIM people, when we say I'm Katempo, you're supposed to respond with hi, hey. That means it is high, right? All right, so let's try again. I'm Katempo. Hi, hey. Much better. Okay.
We will say the second part.
What?
We will say the second
No, this is Panheim. Okay. So thank you very, very much for being here. And what started as a dream in 2005, where some of us co-founded a Pan-IIM organization, and at that time, we called it IIM USA. We actually have 13 chapters now, 13. And who was with IIM USA in 2005? Put your hands up. Atul, yes?
It was in New Jersey?
Yes, we had an event in New Jersey. So yes, that's Nupur. Who else was there for the event in 2005?
I was there.
You were there. Nitin was there.
I was there, yes.
You were there. Okay. So 3 people. So this 2015 is a fascinating year for all of us who were there in 2005 because, hey, we just completed a decade, right? And in that decade, what we did was a couple of years ago, we changed our name from IIM USA. We legally changed it to IIM Americas. And believe it or not, that was quite a process. And now we have 13 chapters. Some chapters are big chapters, some are not so big. So for the big chapters, we have an event like this every year. For the not so big chapters, we have an event every 2 years, right? So we just had a Boston event 2 weeks ago, and then we have the New York, New Jersey event. This is going to be the last event for the year. So we have chapters, oh gosh, I'm going to miss some out. So starting from the north, we have Toronto, we have New York, New Jersey, we have Bay Area, Chicago, Austin, Dallas,
LA.
LA, yes. We have in Seattle, what else? I'm forgetting a few chapters, right? Atlanta, Chicago we have in Houston, okay? So all these areas are alive and kicking. We have our LinkedIn group, we have Facebook presence, we have Twitter presence. So you will see that slowly but surely we are connected. Our network is about 7,000 alumni, 6,000 to 7,000 alumni who kind of hear about what we are doing in one way, shape or form. Having said that, there are people we haven't been able to reach out to. And so one of the asks here is, please reach out to people in your network. If you know there's an event happening, just forward that email to people in your network so that at least people know about it. Again, thanks to BNY Mellon, we're able to have this event here in Manhattan every year for the last 3 years, and your tickets are at such a nominal cost because BNY Mellon and Suresh have been really, really strong supporters of IIM America. So thank you very much, Suresh. We have a newsletter every quarter. I want to acknowledge Namrata. Namrata, will you stand up? Namrata has just relocated from India, so give her a big hand, folks. She currently lives in Washington, D.C., but she's going to be moving to New York. So she's now one of our editors of our newsletter here, and she especially wanted to come here to network with the IIM community here. So welcome to New York, Namrata. We are focusing a lot on entrepreneurship now. 5 or 7 years ago, I didn't see that many entrepreneurs in the IIM community. Typically, we are consultants, or typically we work in corporates, but I think the entrepreneurial bug has really bitten us. And so one new initiative that we have is the entrepreneurship effort. So as IIM Americas, we're trying to think about what is it that we can do to provide some kind of networking or some kind of platform to the IIM alumni when it comes to entrepreneurship. So that's our initiative. What's our agenda? So how many of you knew that there are now 19 IIMs there in India? 19. So when I graduated, there were 3, and I'm dating myself, A, B, and C, right? And then there were 6, and then there were 13, and then there were 19. And in fact, my good friend Atul educated me this morning as to which are the latest, Atul, you told me, Gaya?
So Gaya, Amritsar, we have Visakhapatnam, we have one in Himachal, I forget the name of the town.
Next one is Ropar.
We have Nagpur,
We have
Nagpur too, right?
Functionality.
Yeah. So 19, right? And the number is going to grow. So I mean, there's a kind of a mixed reaction to that, right? In terms of, in a country of 1 billion people, it's great that we have so many IIMs because we need to educate more and more people. The question in some people's minds is, what about the quality of the education, right? So that remains to be seen. So like the IITs, there are multiple IITs. I mean, the IIMs are also kind of growing. Now, each IIM has their own foundation, has their own IIM Alumni Association. And what the Pan IIM organization like IIM Americas does is to provide a common platform to all the IIMs. And the sole purpose of IIM Americas is just connect. Connect, connect, connect. There's no fundraising agenda, there is no, it's IIM agnostic, if you will, right? And so again, when you come to events like this, the whole focus is connect, build relationships, right? Leverage each other. And I think one of the challenges we face now is how do we keep the alumni engaged? How many of you were at this event last year? Raise your hands. Very few, right? Which means, which is good and bad. Good is we are getting more alumni, or newer alumni joining this event. The bad is, wonder why the alumni who were there last year didn't turn up this year. So is it because the timing was not right, because a lot of our alumni travel? Is it because the format is getting a bit boring or a bit predictable? Don't know. So that's one of the challenge kind of we continuously face is how do we make these events more interesting? So if you have any ideas, do send an email or let us know. Harish is here, Kiran is here, there are some of the other organizers here. We'd love to hear from you. So talking about today's theme, A Brave New World. At one of the events, one of the participants suggested to me is, Ashima, we come up with these themes, it'll be really interesting to know why we chose a particular theme. Like, was it a random choice or was any thought put into it? Well, as far as A Brave New World is concerned, I think one of the things that comes to mind is, what do you mean a brave new world? Hasn't mankind always been brave? You think about the old times when people were hunters and they were hunting for food. Weren't they being brave, right? Or when Marco Polo discovered China, wasn't he being brave? Or when you had people kind of traveling the world doing new things. So what do you mean by a brave new world? And to my mind, and we have wonderful speakers today who will talk about a brave new world. So I won't go into some of the details that they're going to talk about, but for me, the one thing that I'm seeing, and we know, the only thing constant about today is change, right? Change will happen, but the one thing that's hit me quite a bit is the realization it's not the change, but it's the pace of change. Change is just happening so quickly, right? You have a thought today, it's broadcast to the world tomorrow. We have the tools, the technology. It's just the rate of innovation, the rate of change, it's mind-boggling. And to me, when I sit back, I then try to think, yes, all this stuff is happening. What's happening to the individual in the middle of all this change? You look at 2-year-olds, right? When I travel in my travels, I see little kids on the plane. They're playing with their iPads. They're so technology savvy, right? They have so much of information coming to them. And I wonder, when my grandfather was 50, right? There was in the Indian philosophy, we have this concept of vanaprastha ashram, right? You have these ashrams. So you're a child, then you're a student, you become a householder, and then you say, I've finished everything, now I'm going to go and meditate, right? So that's the vanaprastha ashram. I'm going to the forest, I'm going to meditate. But if you think of today's world, you have so much of information starting at such a young age. I think today, a person's empirical age of 20 years is probably equal to the chronological age of 50. And so, the question that fascinates me is that if a 20-year-old's chronological age is 50, and he or she has been there, done that, seen this, what is happening to the individual? What is happening to our not just emotional quotient, but what's happening to things like loneliness, things like satisfaction, things like peace, things like achievement, things like happiness, things like connecting?